watching News Mongolia on MNB World. I'm your host, Michma Bayersahan. On the News Mongolia today, Mongolia's foreign exchange reserves have reached $5 billion. The number of children diagnosed with autism is increasing every year. UB Food Festival set to take place at Sukhpatra Square this month. For the news, stay tuned. During the Cabinet's regular session on April 2, 2025, Finance Minister Jakhlambolt provided an update on Mongolia's exports and foreign exchange reserves. He stated that a task force focused on increasing exports and safeguarding the national foreign exchange reserves had met with banking representatives to discuss collaborative measures. The Financial Stability Council also convened to address related issues and develop policy recommendations.
In the first quarter of 2025, Mongolia exported 17.4 million tons of coal and 1.8 million tons of iron ore, similar to last year's figures. However, copper concentrate exports surged by 24%, reaching 456,000 tons. As of April 1, 2025, the national foreign exchange reserves increased by $305 million compared to the previous week.
A task force assigned to increase exports and swiftly address pressing issues met with representatives from the banking sector to discuss cooperation in protecting the national foreign exchange reserves. The Financial Stability Council convened to resolve related issues and develop policy recommendations. In the first quarter of 2025, Mongolia exported 17.4 million tons of coal and 1.8 million tons of iron ore, which is on par with the same period last year. Copper concentrate exports, however, increased by 24%, reaching 456,000 tons. As of April 1, 2025, the national foreign exchange reserves rose by $305 million compared to the previous week.
This marks the third time the foreign exchange reserves have reached this level, and the government aims to sustain and further expand it through strategic policies. Copper exports in the first quarter of 2025 rose by 40% in volume compared to 2024, compensating for shortfalls in coal exports and contributing to tax revenue growth. With major construction projects set to begin in the second quarter, economic activity is expected to rise. The government plans to prioritize investments and manage expenditures effectively to maximize economic benefits.
The number of children diagnosed with autism is increasing, but educational support remains a major challenge in Mongolia. On World Autism Awareness Day, families and experts emphasize the urgent need for specialized schools and trained teachers to support the children like a 12-year-old Otbaisaklan, who expresses himself through art.
13-year-old Otbaisaklan was diagnosed with autism 5 years ago, and his greatest passion is drawing. In his world, he finds the most comfort in expressing his imagination through artwork depicting the colors of nature, the warmth of family love, and the characters from animated films that left a deep impression on him. Initially, he drew only in black and white, but in recent years, he has started incorporating colors to express his world.
I am 12 years old. I love drawing.
Since childhood, whenever he had a piece of paper, he would start drawing. The Timurlan Training Center further developed his skills. Initially, we thought he was drawing for fun. Even from the age of 3, if he had paper, he would start sketching. Now, at home, we never run out of writing paper because if we do, it becomes a big problem. He quickly uses up an entire stack in just a week. Autism is a lifelong condition that affects communication, social interactions, and the ability to process and understand information. Since each child with autism has unique characteristics, teachers emphasize that individualized teaching methods are necessary. A different teacher may focus on a child's weaker areas to improve them. If my child struggles with writing or has weaker motor skills, I must become the teacher myself and work gradually, step by step. It's impossible to make a child speak in just 14 days or significantly improve their motor skills in such a short time. Whether a child's condition is mild or severe, progress only comes with long-term effort, perseverance, and continuous dedication. Although access to healthcare and social support is relatively manageable, parents say the biggest challenge lies in education and personal development. Due to the lack of specialized schools and kindergartens in Mongolia, experts highlight the need to increase the number of trained teachers and improve the capacity of existing training centers. There are still unresolved issues, including a lack of teaching methodologies, teacher shortages, and a growing number of children needing support. April 2nd marks World Autism Awareness Day, a day dedicated to promoting understanding, acceptance, and love for individuals with autism and their families. Around the world, this day is observed with public events and volunteer activities. Following this tradition, children, parents, and specialists gather together to discuss key issues and the necessary steps for future improvements.
Now, let's take a look at Mongolian current affairs.
In 2025, 74 kilometers of roads across 36 locations in Ulaanbaatar city are scheduled for repair and reconstruction. The annual road repair and reconstruction has now officially commenced. Regarding this, Inkbatar, head of the Maintenance Control Department at the Capital Road Development Office, highlighted, this year we plan to carry out road repair work in 36 locations throughout Ulaanbaatar city. Of these, 26 are ongoing projects from previous years, while the remaining 10 locations involve newly planned road works. The repair work has started with the road section from the Zundur-Wunzam intersection to the 25th pharmacy. Under this initial phase, roadside parking spaces will be temporarily closed and repairs will be made to curbs and potholes. Sectional asphalt resurfacing will begin on April 25, 2025. This year, major streets and roads in the capital will be repaired, including Chingiz Avenue and Peace Avenue, which have been used for many years. Road closures and related updates will be notified to the public promptly. According to officials, this year's major projects include full reconstruction of Narendal Road, which hasn't undergone major repairs since 1978, and Peace Avenue, which hasn't had major repairs since 2008. Repair work for the 8.9-kilometer section of Peace Avenue and 16-kilometer of Narendal Road are planned to be completed before July 10, 2025. The Asia Women Leaders Program 2025 initiative officially began on April 2, 2025. This is the third year the training has been implemented at the initiative of the National Committee on Gender Equality of Mongolia in collaboration with the Asian Development Bank. This year, 25 women currently serving in leadership roles across 21 provinces are participating in the event. The Asia Women Leaders Program aims to contribute to the Vision 2050 long-term development policy of Mongolia and to reduce gender inequality. It also focuses on enhancing the confidence and communication skills of women leaders, including public speaking, focused attention, media interaction, effective response to questions, including difficult ones, and discussing ways to create positive change for themselves, their teams, and society at large. Participants will gain insights into the level of gender inequality in Mongolia's health, education, economic, and political sectors in comparison to international and regional contexts. The program highlights the importance of gender-sensitive solutions in addressing climate challenges. It also empowers women leaders by equipping them with the knowledge, experience, and strategic approaches necessary for policy advocacy and leading sustainable community adaptation efforts to climate change. On the occasion of the beginning of the tourism season, the Governor's Office of the capital city will organize the UP Food Festival that will take place during the second week of April 2025, aimed at introducing both national and international culinary traditions to citizens and tourists. The UP Food Festival will be held at Sukhbatar Square on April 8 to 14, 2025. This year's event will highlight the flavors and culinary heritage of Uzbekistan, while also featuring a traditional Mongolian dish prepared in iron cauldron weighing 1 ton by monks from the Kandandishla monastery. As part of an effort to promote Mongolian food culture, attendees will have the opportunity to taste authentic dishes from a variety of different cuisines, prepared by master chefs according to their original recipes. Notably, an Uzbek master chef will prepare and present Uzbekistan's signature dishes, including plow, shashlik, kazan kebab, and samsa, offering visitors an authentic culinary experience. The event will also feature a DJ performance, an open mic session, Bakhtayorog arts performance, an Uzbek merchandise fair, an Ulaanbaatar theater performance, an pop orchestra concert, live music shows, and various food competitions, providing entertainment for young people and visitors. While the UP Food Festival will primarily feature Uzbek and Mongolian cuisine, it will also introduce the flavors, quality, and standards of various international cuisines to the food service industry and the general public. The festival aims to attract tourists with engaging cultural and culinary performances. Looking ahead, the UP Food Festival will be held regularly, playing a significant role in the development of tourism in Mongolia.
The chair of the European Parliament's International Trade Committee condemned the U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff measures, warning they will hurt producers in both the U.S. and the EU, while also impacting economies in the global south.
Trump's tariffs impose a 34% tax on imports from China and 20% on goods from the European Union. The move threatens to dismantle long-standing global trade structures and escalate tensions into broader trade wars.
This will really harm people on the ground, producers in the United States, in the European Union, and specifically also people in the countries of the global south. And this is really mass and unfair practices of the United States. President Trump called it Liberation Day, and I will call it Inflation Day, because it's totally clear that these tariffs will increase prices in the United States, and I guess regarding the tariff situation also in the European Union. And we saw it in the example of steel and aluminium. And this is then, of course, not appropriate in this economic situation. The average tariff between European Union and US is 5%, so much below the 20%. And if you took the real volume of trade on this tariff, because we have a lot of products also tariff-free, we are round about 1.52%. The justification of this 39% and generously 20% is just European legislation. Standards for consumer protection, chemical rights, and, of course, also our legislation in the digital area.
This historic tax hike could push the global economic order to a breaking point. Americans may face rising costs on essentials like housing, cars, and clothing, while the disruption to trade alliances could weaken economic and political stability worldwide.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We will see you next week with more updates and news. Goodbye.